Welcome to Gibside, everyone. My name's Nev Kirby and I'm the Regional Building Manager for the National Trust for Yorkshire and the North East region. And behind us we've got Stu McPherson, who is an Operations Surveyor, Derek Hodgson, who is a Direct Labour Coordinator, and Steve Hume, who is a Direct Labour Coordinator. And what we're going to try and demonstrate to you now is a lime slake. And this is to produce a traditional material called lime putty, which is a lovely material. That is about a year old. Great for ice and cakes, but very caustic. Seriously, it's quite a dangerous material to work with. Reacts with the hands, but you do get used to it after a while. It's a base material that the National Trust can use for plastering, which you can see on the next stand. Further along, we can point walls with it, we can build with it, and if we add water to it, we can lime wash with it. This is a chemistry lesson for the youngsters amongst us. We excavate limestone out the ground. You'll have seen quarries around the northeast and all over the country. That's limestone. So you're going to excavate that out of the ground. Once you've excavated it, what you can do is actually burn it. You burn it at about 1200 degrees centigrade. And a lot of you will know the lime kilns dotted around the rural landscape. But there are actually big industrial lime kilns now. There is one situated at Shap on the M6, and that's where we actually get our quicklime from. So the limestone can be burnt. What that does is it removes all the water and it produces a material called quicklime. And we've got quicklime in the bag here that's had all the water removed from it. It's very unstable. It is absolutely desperate for water. And that's what we're going to give it today. We're going to give it the water that it needs. We had great fun on Friday trying to keep this material out the rain, and we had to log it in our van eventually. But it's like a gravel. It's been crushed, broken down, and just a gravel material. It does tend to burn the hands, so better that you don't touch it. So we have quicklime. What we're going to show you is we're going to add the water to the quicklime to create our lime putty. Once we have that lime putty, which matures with age, we can think about what we're going to use it for. So we add the water, or we add it to sand. If you're adding it to the sand to build with, the key thing is that as a binder between, say, the bricks on that wall, it must be softer than the material it's binding together. If it's like cement and it's harder than the bricks, for those of you who can see down there, it's the bricks that start to deteriorate. It's far easier to come back and repoint the wall at a later date than to come back and try and replace the bricks. So your binder must be softer than the material you're binding together. And that's the benefit of lime. It gives you a very soft material. So we add the sands, we add the gravel, we can build with it. And what happens with lime as opposed to your cement or your gypsum plaster is it carbonates. It takes carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and it starts to carbonate. Now that's a very slow process, and this has probably been one of the reasons lime has traditionally been replaced with modern materials. Because to most builders, time is money. And when you're using lime and it's got to carbonate, you're continually going back, you're continually working it day after day until it goes off, initially after about 7 days, permanently about 28 days. So time being money to builders, they want the quick win, so that's why you've seen the cements, the concretes and everything else start to creep in. And like I say, there's a place for them in modern construction, but not when you're looking after somewhere like Gibside Chapel. And all it's trying to do is turn itself back into calcium carbonate, back to the limestone. We've got to be very careful, and I do need people just to step one step back there. Initially it'll boil instantly. You think your kettles are good at home, this goes straight up. As soon as it's put in there, it'll boil. It'll simmer away and then it will really go. So that's when we need to just move back. After about 30 seconds or so, it should be okay to move forward again. So if the lads are ready, you can go with that. You see? Just leave it, Stu, just leave it. See, that's boiling, that's suddenly boiling already, and it's going to start to get quite vicious. That's just steam coming off. You move forward a touch if you want. Just keep off the top all in there. I'll get some water in soon. And you can see the limestone's already starting to break down. And it's starting to take on that creamy appearance. That'll stay hot until, well, mid-afternoon I would think, and just continue to bubble away, continue to break down. So I suppose what we're trying to say to you today is that there is a need for modern materials with modern construction, but when you're looking after a historic house or a historic property that's built with soft sandstone or soft brickwork, then lime is the material you can use to make sure that long term you're looking after that building properly, that the binders you're using aren't too hard for the soft materials that those buildings were built with.